that's true. But I don't really believe Squall is dead. I'm gonna be very honest. I don't believe it. I kind of cheated and watched the ending, cause you know, cause I never got to finish the full game because I broke the game. Well, in the beginning he was a bad guy. Now he might thought he was doing good, but he's trying to carry out his father's work and the ways of running Shinra, which President Shinra's stuff. Okay, President Shinra was a bad guy. He used like Donald Trump. He wanted the power for himself. He wanted to use fear and intimidation, and terrorism to get people to surrender to Shinra because Shinra was the world power. Now, after Final Fantasy VII and after he lived, they are an avid children to Dirge of Cerberus. Yes, then then Rufus Shinra was a good guy after that because then he started realizing, you know what my father did was messed up. So yeah, that's the only time Rufus Shinra actually became a good guy was after Final Fantasy VII, after he had a near-death experience because the building collapsed on him during the battle with Diamond Weapon.
President Shinra is actually helping Avalanche in subtle or even outright ways. Some people believe he actually killed his father.
It would be subtle ways, if anything else. If that was the case, it'd be subtle ways. But this would probably because the only reason why Rufus Shinra would be helping Avalanche is because they both have the same goals of capturing Sephiroth and bringing Sephiroth to justice. I paid attention. That's the only reason. Rufus pretty much got his own reasons for doing things.
The sword that looks like Sephiroth's and let Cloud and company out of the prison rather than Sephiroth. The same people believe that he simply gave them a motive and continued to act the part of the bad guy, to be present during important events and open up the possibility.
Okay, we're pulling Naruto right here with this theory. You know, pretty much you're making Rufus Shinra sound like Itachi. That's not really correct. He did help Avalanche. I am not going to deny that. He did help Avalanche. But it was for his own benefit. He wanted to capture Sephiroth too. And he knows Cloud is strong enough to take on Sephiroth. Let's keep going.
To help Avalanche or push them in a certain direction. There's actually a pretty fair amount of evidence for this, including how Rufus Shinra acts in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, the CG movie sequel to Final Fantasy VII. The theory more concerns the idea that he was a good guy from the start, rather than between sometime the game and the film sequel switch sides. I mean, how else would the key have ended up on Tifa's foot when they were gassing her? Pretty solid theory, to be honest. Number 3, the fact Final Fantasy...
Okay, yeah, that is hard to explain. You'd think Scarlet would be more thorough, and since Rufus Shinra is not there to put her in her place, you know, that is kind of weird why the key was there for Tifa to escape from the gas chamber, so I'll give him that.
13 is all corridors up until a certain point is actually intentional and linked to the themes of the game. Now, if you've ever played Final Fantasy 13, you know how incredibly linear it is. Until you get to Grand Pulse, the game feels like a hallway. Some fans believe this is to make you feel the feelings the characters feel about their journey. They're forced into it. They have no choice. They have no other direction to take. Just forward, endlessly pursuing the exact same goal. Whereas, once they get to Grand...
Well, kind of. Gameplay-wise, yes. Story-wise, no.
Pulse, they start to realize that the Sea aren't some lifeless monster doing the bidding of some other lifeless monster. They're people. They have choices. They have recourse. They can make changes.
Well, that is true, because if you remember, was it not I'm trying to think. Barthandalonis, yeah, Barthandalonis, you know, the bad guy from Final Fantasy 13, were saying they're nothing but tools, because, you know, the Lassie, then the Fal'Cie, and the Fal'Cie we know is the bad guys. I don't know if you watch Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, but pretty much it is with regular signers and dark signers. The Lassie were like lightning, snow, and that group. Fal'Cie was like Bartholomew. I forgot the guy who looks like Syx. The guy who looks like Syx. The only one who really wasn't really a Fal'Cie, was only a regular human that was part of that group was I can't remember her name, but she has like glasses and blonde hair, and she's the reason why Saz lost his son for a while. Forgot her name. Let's say this was Nabat. Yeah, Jill Nabat. That's what it was. Yeah. And I forgot the guy who looks like Syx, but you fight him twice in the game. But he's actually a Fal'Cie, and I think Sid Reigns was a Fal'Cie, I think. Because, I don't know. It's complicated. You would have to actually play Final Fantasy 13 to actually understand that. But the plot is actually pretty deep. Because it's like, the Purge happened because the Fal'Cie thought l'Cie were, people could turn into l'Cie and were in danger at any time, so that's why the people got purged. Pretty dark storyline. Well, Final Fantasy 13 Saga alone is a really dark story. Darker than the other Final Fantasy if you really go into it, but let's keep going on.
Their fate, if they really truly want to. This is reflected in the opening up of the game itself. Grand Pulse kind of lets you hop around and complete different objectives and missions. The idea is based somewhat on the concept of empathy, that you might identify with the characters better if you're feeling
That's true. That is true. That's what they wanted to do. That was their whole goal. Because if you ever play Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 13 2, Lightning's Return, if you play all of them, that's pretty much what they were going for. If you really paid attention.
They are as the game progresses. Now, Square Enix has never actually made an official comment towards this, and there's no real reason to expect that they will. Detractors make the argument that it in fact was technical limitations that created the corridor-like nature of the game, and that Grand Pulse, essentially being a really big field where you could repeat enemies and things like that, made more sense to give you more free reign in than a city. I can't really say for certain whether I believe in the theory or not. I will say if the gameplay itself had that kind of purpose, it would make the game a bit deeper and more meaningful. And for the first long section of Final Fantasy 13, it's kind of something that felt desperately lacking. Number 2, the final tower before Kefka in Final Fantasy 6 are actually the 3 stages of the Divine Comedy. The final tower has 3 levels, each of which can be interpreted as one of the books from the Divine Comedy. Level 1 being the Inferno. It's hard not to look at the boss as kind of Satan-like. The second level being Purgatory, with the boss consisting of a selection of random enemies thatched together, which they're now stuck between Kefka's abomination between heaven and hell. Purgatory. The third level is the Paradise, or to put it in Judeo-Christian terms, heaven. The symbolism of this boss is basically Mary, the mother of Jesus, resurrecting her son if he's killed with her tears. In fact, the Japanese version, the woman's head is actually named Mary, and Jesus is basically Kefka, which isn't a disturbing thought at all. And if you kill him, he shows up again, not necessarily on the third day, but resurrected nonetheless, above the tower. Playing into this mythology, one could say that the son dies, but the son is also the father. Anyway, above Paradise is Kefka himself. He is now become a god. His appearance is actually pretty similar to Lucifer as described in literature. If you've never really thought of it this way, I basically accept this as fact. Japanese game developers tend to really love to borrow from other religions to create their own mythology.
Well, yeah, they kind of do that.
Particularly those who create role-playing games. This fits in perfectly with that design ethos. And number 1 is a theory that all of the Final Fantasy games are actually connected in a tightly knitted multiverse. And that
Well, I can argue that if you go by Dissidious canon, then that's the case. If you go by Dissidious canon, that's the case. Just saying.
14 is at the very center. Final Fantasy 14 repeats a lot of key elements.
Though, I got one thing I can add in there. Who's not to say that all the different worlds are different parts? We never, besides Final Fantasy 8 and parts of Final Fantasy 7 and some other Final Fantasies, we never actually seen the characters go into space, like deep space. Now, this might get a lot of dislikes and a lot of people cussing me out. A lot of the Final Fantasy, fantards might get mad at me for this, but who's not to say that if, let's see, if Cloud would have went all the way to space, he probably went to the planet where Squall lives, where Balamgarn is. Who's not to say that they are different planets that's in the same universe? Which would explain how Cosmos could get all the Final Fantasy characters, bad guy, and Chaos get all the bad guys, and Cosmo get all the good guys, and make him fight to save the world. Who's not to say that their planets are connected? What if they're in the same universe? It could be possible. It's something to think about.
Of the entire series mythology in a way that structures its world as sort of an amalgamation of many other Final Fantasy worlds. And then there's Final Fantasy IV, the After Years, which basically flat out says that the first 4 games are definitely connected. Then of course there's Dissidia Final Fantasy, which two gods grab various heroes and villains from Final Fantasy to fight as champions in a mirror dimension, with the ultimate prize being their own universe. This actually hints at
Which, like I said, it could be possible because who's not this? We never seen space travel. Like, unless 15 talks about it, the Final Fantasy worlds could be connected because we never seen space travel. So it could be different planets in the same universe, in the same solar system. That'd be an interesting concept.
the idea that these universes are connected and the doors can be opened between them. Side note, I don't really know how seriously you take Dissidia Final Fantasy, and if it's not very, that's perfect.
Well, it depends on the fan. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it could. I'm just gonna say it's just one other canon. There's just 2 canons for Final Fantasy. There's so many different canons in Final Fantasy. Now, some people will believe the Dissidia one wholeheartedly, and I'm not gonna fault them for that because that does make more sense than anything else. I'm gonna go with my theory, and this is a fan theory, that all the worlds are only connected because they're different planets in the same universe and in the same solar system. That would make more sense to me, at least. And then that would explain Kingdom Hearts as well. Like the Disney planets, you know, some got pushed to the Final Fantasy worlds. I mean, it could be very possible. We never see a space travel. We gotta see if 15's gonna put some space travel. We need a Final Fantasy game that makes you travel space. Or at least a level.
There's other evidence. Gilgamesh from Final Fantasy V gets banished into quote-unquote the void. The Gilgamesh we see
Which is part of space. If you know, the void is actually a black hole. And a black hole is connected to space. Who's not to say he's going to different planets? Again.
in every further entry of Final Fantasy is the same Gilgamesh. It's even rumored that if you properly translated Final Fantasy VIII into English, he actually asks Squall if he is Bart's. This creates an actually pretty strong case for the idea that all these worlds are connected in some way. And then there's the fact that Final
That could be
Fantasy
possible.
X is actually a very, very, very distant prequel to Final Fantasy VII. There's actually a character named Shinra in Final Fantasy X who expresses that he has thought of a way to
No, I'm gonna go with my theory instead. I think it's just a different world. You know, but it could be that planet could be closer to Final Fantasy VII, or if there's actually more worlds in Final Fantasy, more places in Final Fantasy VII we haven't discovered, it could be possible they're both on the same planet, because most of the Final Fantasy X's game was pretty much in cities where there's a lot of water. There's a lot of Italy, so who's not to say that there's cities with water in Midgard? I mean, that's if they're in there, but I think I'm gonna go with it being a different planet because it makes more sense to me, and I'm not gonna lose my
energy out of the planet. It's believed that there are many, many generations in between the two, but that Spira and the planets are actually the same place. Add that into the idea that the summons might actually just be dimensional ribs that bring in various incarnations of different characters, gods, monsters, whatever you want to call a summon. And the Final Fantasy multiverse theory is actually not insane. There are indications that
That's what I said.